Still getting used to tackling a very narrow path. And it's gone through all the dew covered grass no problem. I'm hoping that this board's actually waterproof compared to the others. But yeah, I'm just taking it on a morning trail up down this old farm lane, but trying to stay within the tyre mark is the tricky part, because there's such a steep climb on the other side. But I've come all the way up here. We'll see how far I can get. So here we are in the heart of Ashdown Forest. It's a beautiful, quiet location. Just giving this a test on a morning run. There's dew covered grass, so I'm just hoping that it doesn't get hurt in that, but it runs no problem straight through it. I don't think I'll push it too far through here, because motors are obviously smoking a bit. But no, the idea was to get over into those woods somewhere, because I believe there is a spring somewhere in that direction, but I suppose I'll have to just walk up here at some other point. See, forget when you stop too hard in the grass. And it's coping quite well even in this longish grass. It's coping quite well. I wouldn't want to drive it too far through it, just because of the moisture. But yeah, I'm gonna head back up this trail now. Come to me. No, that's a cool remote system. I am pretty impressed with how well this skateboard travels over different terrain. If it can go over semi-long damp grass, then you'll have no problem going through most places. I just got myself benched on a... am I going to be able to get down this slope without stepping off? Yeah, starting to find my balance a bit better on off-road. It's all in the ankles and the legs. But it's hard to do it holding a phone and trying to balance at the same time. So, and we have some fresh blackberries to pick for breakfast. suppose the beauty about these skateboards as well is that they're very simple, so should you damage the wheels or anything like that, the only major part is the controller and the battery pack. Everything else is really simple, so I think as long as the battery pack and that's connected, protected well, which I'm hoping that on the GTR it is, I'll be able to ride through a lot of these areas where the board's going to get wet, where it's going to get, I mean obviously not submerged, but it's going to get splashed, yeah, and possibly lightly knocked, nothing major. So I've heard people mentioning that when I went to Revolve's shop, they said that the GT and the GTX had some building flaws in the manufacturing, so he reckons that that's all been rectified in the GTR. I mean, it's a big amount to pay extra for one, but you have the extended range and well, hopefully better build quality. But I would say I'm starting to get the hang of it, just slowly riding up the path. It's when I start talking about it and saying that I've got the hang of it that I start to think too much and make a mistake. But you can't really, I haven't got to the point of being able to shoot up this path at any huge speed just yet. But I have to be in pro mode just to be able to get the traction to, so if I was to put my finger hard down on the accelerator, this board would go flying out from me. But no, overall it's amazing. Like the way that this performs on all terrain, I love it. Much better than what the little scooter that I have in the back of the car will do. It's only a 500 watt scooter. But there we go, I've actually managed to ride up this path almost without stepping off. This is my first proper ride in it, other than just riding around on concrete. Whoa, and there's the bramble. So there we go, we're back at the farm now. So yeah, that was nice. Yeah, highly recommend these skateboards. And with the extra flex in the board, that works perfectly with the terrain and the spring. I prefer that spring over the carbon where it's a bit more solid. I like the flex for my muscles and my ligaments, etc. My ankles. But yeah, there we go, that's just a short video on my first short ride going off-road with the GTR. So I've noticed something on here, is when I brake really hard, there's a bit of clicking, so I think the belts are slipping on the cogs in the motor. I mean, but now that I've been off-road, I've got a bit more confidence on the concrete, which is quite cool. I don't know if we can replicate the braking. Yeah, there it goes. So if I brake really hard, which I'm worried about on steep hills now, is that's going to be clicking. I do think that is just the belt, so I'll give the guys a ring today and see if there's anything that I can do to rectify that. But otherwise, I pretty much have myself, I'm a lot more confident on it just after a couple of days riding. So there we go. The Bamboo GTR.